Captain's Log Supplemental.
Hey Jeremy, you know those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do.
You,
I
you,
got one that I'm looking at every day.
you know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Yep. Trouble free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving, though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good.
From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Skripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting? And
I'm Vicky.
Hungover and post-race hangover.
Yes.
We got another host.
I'm Tim Fokine.
He is. Tim's
Tim
back.
Fokine.
I feel like Slim Shady. Tim is back. Welcome back.
That's right. Tim is back.
Don't do that again. Oh,
That's
right. Why are we talking today? Why?
Why? Because we had done an HPDE, a training event.
We did.
Yep.
And Tim's one of the Grand Poobahs now. Congratulations, Tim.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Good to be part of a big team and a really good team at that at NASA Great Lakes.
Yep. The only downside is I'm an instructor too, but whatever. You'll let anybody in. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we?
PittRace for 3 or more days, depending on how you got there or when you got there. I arrived Thursday, so I was there Thursday through Sunday, so it's a long weekend.
Could not ask for a better day for middle of July.
Oh, it's the first time that I can remember being at PittRace in July and it not being 100+ degrees ambient air temperature. The temperature was great, especially Friday. It was low to mid 80s for the Trek race, and it was comfortable all day during the prep, and it was good. It was good weather weekend. It did get a little warm, but it's July.
It's July. So just in case people aren't familiar, Tim, we did not make it out for Trek race because we had calamities on our end. But what's a Trek race?
Team Race Endurance Challenge. It is NASA Great Lakes version of endurance racing. It's a 4-hour or more race, depending on the weekend, that we we endurance race, so a 4-hour race or more, sometimes 6 hours, depending on the weekend and the venue. And it's run similar to the Western Endurance Challenge, or say AER or a WRL type of race. It is multiple drivers, multiple stops, lots of tech rules, and it's a good time. It's a good way. It's a good way to get to kick off the weekend if you're into that kind of endurance thing, which I think we all are.
I think so. I think we got that. Who'd you race with, and how'd you do?
Race with John Stewart in Glenn Robinson's 944. That's the same car that we've campaigned twice now to championships. And Glenn is now renting seats in the car, so he needed somebody to fill in for him. So I was able to help them out. So John Stewart and myself raced. Didn't do great. We were actually doing very, very well. And then the car in the last hour in my last stint, had some shifting issues. So we had quite a lead, and I drove around the track in third gear, hoping that somebody else would have a mechanical issue, but didn't work out. So we didn't finish on the podium in class or in the race, but still had a great weekend despite all that.
PittRace is not a track you want to be in third gear the entire time.
No. Well, the choice was third or fourth. We couldn't switch. We couldn't shift between third or fourth. So we got to pick one. So I picked the lower one just so I could ride the rev limiter, especially in on the long straights.
Right. Well, we just solved our third and fourth shifting issue today, literally today.
Oh.
And so Civic is back in action.
What did Dr.
What's that?
What did Dr. Vicky find?
No. We just knew that in this particular transmission, the third and fifth were going, so we had it sent out and rebuilt because even the parts that we had were worn.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is good. Yeah, we started up. Alan and I started up today.
Wow.
We finished it up today. Went in, finished the whole thing, and now it's just niceties for the next race.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
That car's fun to drive. I like driving that little
It
car.
is a fun car to drive.
That's a point and shoot car.
You've got some more of it in your future, sir. Do not forget.
That's right.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Miss Vicky, would you like to try to summarize the debacle that was preparation for PittRace? Or do you want me to?
It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. So it all basically started out when we were getting ready to start trailer prep about 2 weeks ago, and the truck died. We literally lost the transmission. The transmission was done and cooked. So now we did not have a tow vehicle. So at that point, we were already planning on setting up. It was scheduled to start doing a little bit of remodel on the inside. So putting a new floor down, painting the walls and stuff like that. We tore out our workbench. But now I had to do it in a box, probably about 100 feet away.
Way more than that.
Yeah, about 100 plus or so, 200 feet away. And then we got hit by a little heat wave. So now I'm doing all this in a box that's cooking. But anyway, got it done. But then getting ready to load it up to bring it around, we noticed that we lost all power in it. So now we can't use our jack system. And what turned into a 20-minute job of half hour, 20-minute getting ready for an HPD packing ended up being 2.5 hours because we couldn't get the jack system going, right? Mm-hmm. Then I had forgotten when I went to the SCCA that my car was flashing a what was it? A oil pressure light on my AIM system. So I'm getting ready to load this on the car, on the trailer, ready to go. And I had forgotten about this. And I'm just like, oh, cripe. But then we found out, we fixed that along the way. Stopped by Planet Miata. It happened to be just an AIM sensor, but everything else was fine. On top of that, when I had reserved a trailer for the HPDE and going through it, and I believe that I had done this post SCCA, but I had reserved a trailer in North Carolina, and and not in Pennsylvania for some reason. And we found that out Thursday
That's
before
a
the
little.
race, Wednesday before the race. So I ended up having to hop back on, and there was a woman that was about 20 miles away with a mobile home, and she's like, "Yeah, I could help you." So we ended up getting that along the way. And then just getting everything ready to go to the race. Literally, I was just too exhausted to really enjoy the weekend that much. I was burned out. Everything that could have gone wrong had gone wrong. I hope we're done with it now.
You
I
skipped a
hope it's
bunch,
all
but
a system for the year.
you skipped a bunch of things, but we're not going to have a 50-minute podcast on
No,
the debacle
no.
that was preparation for this, but that's fine.
Yeah,
Race prep is never easy. I don't care if you have a
no.
team of people or a team of one, right? That's always
It's the worst part.
it's the hardest part. It's the
Yeah,
hardest because there's so much to do and so much to think about. And if you don't have a good checklist, or if you don't have a good grasp on working on your car, plus working on the trailer and preparing the tow vehicle, which is critical. You can't miss that, right?
Nope.
It can be really daunting. Really
hmm
daunting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we had to prep. So just for your reference, Miss Vicky, the extension cord that you were trying to plug in is 100 foot. So we were closer to a half a mile away.
yeah.
So we had to prep everything a half a mile away because we couldn't move it,
Oh, okay.
which was lovely. And
Yeah,
then
about quarter. Yeah, about quarter mile. It was just it was not fun.
no,
Right.
And
Right.
I think at one point when we were like I started putting all the E-tracks on the wall, and I reinforced one side because I knew Bill was going to put some heavy stuff there. But the rest of them are only held on by 10 right now because I ran out of screws. But
so
I
we
knew
could
I
find.
wasn't going to hang anything on there anyway. If there was, it was going to be
Right.
super light, and I would just get it after this event.
Mhm.
And
Did
I think
it,
at one point Bill was just like, I don't care what goes in this trailer right now. I'm so done. So we end up
Put the car
going and
in, and we'll
prepared.
borrow stuff or buy stuff. I don't care.
Yeah.
right. Right. So that's the nice part about working out of an enclosed trailer is once you develop your road show, so to
Yeah.
speak, it travels with you all the time. So
And
now I find myself in my workshop having to go out to my trailer and picking through my trailer's toolbox or the trailer's contents, so that because I carry so much with me to the track.
Mhm.
It's kind of an upside down equation. I don't have the shop set up that I probably want, but I certainly have the trailer set up that I want and need. And so,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
a that's what we're working to. That's what
yeah,
we're working to.
same. It's you got to have two of everything, sometimes three, and looking for that 1/4 inch, 2 inch adapter in your toolbox that doesn't exist. It's like the elusive 10 millimeter. You know,
Yeah.
you
Mm,
don't if you don't have 22 10 millimeter sockets, you're short.
that's absolutely that, and 12s also. 12s are
16,
next.
16s for my race car are it's a 16 open end wrench is the one I have. Like
Mhm.
I just ordered three because I need
Yeah, yeah. So we're
That's
now at this point our car's done. So
good.
we are now preparing for the next event this weekend completely. We're going to be done. We're going
we
to be
are
totally
going
done
to pack, as we have said, we are going
a
to be
week
packed
early.
1 week early.
Yep.
I try. And of course,
Finally.
with my job, I usually try to prepare the weekend before, um, so that when I come home and get ready to leave for the race weekend, all I have to do is, hop in the truck, throw open the garage door, and pull out, and maybe load some last minute things in the trailer, groceries, towels, and the real personal, like, last minute items that you can't leave in the trailer over the week, during the week, kind
No.
of thing.
All right, so let's move on to the highlight of the weekend. Tim, let's talk about CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is the ultimate computer system that takes care of everything and makes everything so easy for you, right, Tim?
Yeah, apparently that's what they said.
Yeah, not so
It's
much.
not
Mm.
so much if you were traveling or in the airline business, or the banking business, or I mean, it even affected businesses unrelated to travel. Um, it was a rough weekend. I wound up getting woke up at about 1 in the morning with a phone call from work that was a real surprise. Real surprise. I picked apparently the right week to go on vacation. So
I'd say, I'd say so.
yeah, yeah,
Job well done, sir. Well,
yeah.
we're not going to get into that because
Mm-mm.
there's no good news on that.
No.
Tim, what were your responsibilities for the weekend? What were you driving after the truck race, or were you instructing occupied, or?
So after the Trek race on Friday, well, Friday, I'm the one of the Trek race co-series leaders. Um, Myself, Glenn, and Brian Dodges, Glenn Robinson, Brian Dodges, all lead the Trek series at NASA Great Lakes, and it's a good team. We couldn't do it without each other, and so it's a really nice combination of people and personalities that get the Trek race done. After the Trek race, um, my responsibilities in NASA Great Lakes have increased as well, and so
Ooh.
I'm part of the chief instructor group. There's a handful of us now that are chief instructors, and we are essentially customer service oriented organization with an eye on safety and instruction, and providing our instructors with quality tools to provide our clients with quality instruction. And so now I spend the weekend just making sure and overseeing that all the group leaders and students have exactly what they need. And if they're not getting exactly what they need, finding the resources to make sure that they are getting what they want.
Newsflash, breaking news. The latest MSF Level 3 graduate is one Tim Fokine. I believe it was just posted to Facebook within the minute.
It probably was. I finished up the exam this afternoon, which was the last piece. I had some small pieces left over. Eric, myself, and Mike Job went through those pieces to finish up the administrative end of it. And so the last part for me was to take the exam, which I did this afternoon.
Yep, I'm due for that tomorrow, so I'll be
Yeah,
joining you.
you'll enjoy. Yeah. So we're in the top for the first group of I think roughly 35 in the nation.
Yep. You ready for the fun story from Jennifer? Because where she's going to talk about her HBD weekend because she had a
Yeah,
blast. But
of
so
course.
this is the funniest story ever. So uh, I point to Mike Job as he's walking by,
Mm-hmm.
and I explain that he is blazingly fast, like incredibly fast driver. And Jennifer's like, he can't be fast. I've talked to him. He's just like, well, well, I said, yeah, he's just like that until he gets behind the car. And then I remember one time he was showing me this one thing on one track, and he's like, "Okay, just follow me, and I'll show you." And pretend it's pit race turn 3-4, right? So he shows me what to do in turn 3, and I do turn 3, and he's gone. He's like past turn 6, and I'm still getting to 4, and that's like 50 feet. I was like, "It's yeah." He's
He's wicked. He's wicked fast, and a a great instructor, a great series leader, great person overall. We're really lucky to have Mike Job at NASA Great Lakes, and a good friend now, a really good friend.
yeah,
He actually gave me my MSF level 2, or part of it, down at Sebring.
nice.
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
did it with Chin Track Days, he was one of the mentors there. That was fun.
That's tremendous. Mike's a great guy. He's like the
Yeah.
typical Southern gentleman. He talks slow, he walks slow, but put him in the back of the seat of a car, and it's
Yep, he's good.
bye.
He's good.
Excellent. All right, Miss Vicky, you had goals. Do you remember what they were, or do I have to
I
tell you?
do.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. What do we got?
I do. My goal was to work on my RPMs along with my speed. My other goal was to drive one gear higher.
Hmm.
And another goal was to work on my braking closer to my apexes
Hmm.
after the straightaway. And
Hmm.
they were pretty important. Unfortunately, I was completely burned out this weekend leading up to getting to the track,
Hmm.
that it was a struggle to get through. Um, but I think that I got better with my braking at the end. I did work on as I warmed up on the track, because I'm getting used to this new little vehicle, that I did manage to work my way around, I would say three-quarters of the way in one gear higher.
Nice. Tim, that was the first time you've seen Miss Vicky's new Spec Miata in
Yeah,
person.
nice ride, Miss Vicky.
Thanks. Yeah, that was yeah, it kind of fits me.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people can fit into it.
Not
Probably
me.
Jennifer, but yeah,
Not
but
Bill,
it
not him, huh?
Mm-mm.
you know, this particular one did not have the boost.
Yeah.
And that did make a difference, as it felt like, yes, it may not have been quicker, but
Hmm.
it felt more stable.
Yeah.
If anything, it felt more consistent.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All
Because
right.
remember,
sometimes when you punch it, then the car's, you kind of get a good rhythm, and all of a sudden it goes, it just jumps,
Right.
and then when
Hmm.
the boost kicks in. So this one, it just felt a little bit more balanced, and it was set up much nicer than mine was. So it really hugs the track, really hugs the track.
well, speaking of hugging, remember that you're still on 200 treadwear trainer wheels. You have not gone to your slicks yet.
Oh, yes.
So there,
Yes,
there will
yes,
be,
yes.
I believe you're going to move from hugging to groping.
That's right. Yeah.
Exciting times.
Yeah. But I do have to say that at the very end of the weekend, I was okay with not doing the last two runs,
Yeah.
because at that point I don't
Don't push it.
know. I felt I was too tired to really push myself,
Hmm.
too worn out.
Yeah.
So,
Totally
but
understand.
I had a good time, for sure. Three is a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy being in three for a little while,
Okay.
for
You, for,
sure.
you forgot three of your goals, my dear. Luckily,
Tell me.
I have them. Goal forgotten number one, you have to experience the Pew Pew game.
Oh, nice. And HPD 3, that's a big one.
It is. The Pew Pew game is what, Tim?
It's developed by Robin uh,
Robin.
Robin from HD3, sorry, developed the Pew Pew game, and it's a play on Star Wars. Um, when you go by a flag station, and any flag station, it works anywhere in the country on any track. You shoot that flag station and you say pew pew like you would on Star Wars. So
Mm-hmm.
it helps cement the location of the flag stations. And Robin Burnett is the founder, author, and um, originator of that. And it's a really good way to uh, pick up where all the flag stations are pretty quick. If you start doing that from the get go, by the middle of day one or session 2 or 3, you're probably pretty familiar with where the flag stations are pretty fast, and it cements it pretty well.
Yeah. I think it's more valuable when you're not at a racetrack that the three of us have done thousands of laps on. So,
Right, right.
it's not like a flag station going to sneak up on us like, oh, where'd that come from? So, okay. All right. What else did we forget? We forgot the weight percentage, where you were going to concentrate on at least on your in laps, on the relative fraction of the weight on each of the four tires. How did that go for you, Miss Vicky?
Which one was it?
The weight percentages on the tires?
I
Fell asleep.
Yeah, I know. I sensed what my tires were doing going around the track. I did feel like sitting like on a salamander. Like when one leg of something would do something, one leg was, that's how I felt because just sitting in the center of the car. But I don't know about the weight that was there, kind of like a friction circle situation. But I do know that I sensed enough that when I was pushing the nose down going into a turn and how not to do that.
Okay.
So I
Vicky,
trying to.
sorry to interrupt. Was this the first time you drove this spec
This
Miata?
is a second time, but I've driven Miatas before.
Right.
So now, balancing rear wheel and front wheel, this car makes you feel more like you're sitting in the middle of it.
Right. So much more
Or,
planted feel.
right. It felt more balanced.
Yeah.
It is a very balanced car in general, but maybe it was just because I was just getting kind of, giddy with being rear wheel again. But what I did notice is that after driving front wheel for a couple years now, and then getting back into that Miata, 99 Miata, that usually with the front wheel, you can get on the apexes a lot sooner because it's a front wheel. If you feel things are sliding, you just punch the gas, but you can do that and not lose a rear end. It gets a little trickier when you have a rear end and try to, get on an apex really soon. But it really allowed me to jump on it a lot earlier than I would have previously with my old one, which I had not been in a couple years now. I did feel that for sure. I did notice that I was getting 8 more feet on an apex than before,
Wow.
maybe even more.
Good for
So,
you.
yeah.
That's really important down in the hole of 5 and 6 too.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So even going around 17, I just felt the back end rotating coming around is what I was trying to do, and letting it not so much slide, but definitely feeling the edge of it.
Right. Right.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And the one that you're going to get a pass for because you were not at your full throttle, Miss Vicky, slightly going in a little under energized. You were supposed to experience the full Robin. So
Yes.
we will give you
Yes.
a second try at that when you are more alert and
Yeah. Yeah.
Mid Ohio in August.
I do not believe that is on her agenda.
Ah.
But I'd love to see her go.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
stay home.
Can I pause this just for a sec?
Well, apparently.
Is this is supposed to be our wrap up, right?
And we're going to do one with Jennifer because she really wants to do a wrap up. So,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
so
Continue.
yes, you're supposed to wrap up too.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, Miss Vicky, you did get to drive home from pit race
Yes.
with our daughter,
Yes.
our youngest, who went to her
Yes.
first ever HPDE.
This is true.
Being
This,
I heard really good things, guys. You should be
oh,
proud.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
She did really well.
well, since she is a 17-year-old girl, the odds on us getting her on the podcast are zero. So Miss Vicky, would you care to translate your general thoughts on her feelings? So she is never going to tell us anything.
No. So she really enjoyed herself. I do know that. And she, in her opinion, because she's one, she just likes to be like constantly moving. So it was the in between that she had a hard time with, all the in between dead time and but
Last
that's
time.
par for the course,
Yeah.
especially in first. But she enjoyed it. She said that she did feel, as she said, I already knew how to drive my car. But
She's
so
had her license for 11 days.
she
I
was
mean,
driving an ND Miata,
Right.
which
well,
now has become her family car.
Got it.
So I don't believe that she should have her own car yet, but she has a shared car with the family, and that's dedicated to her. So she has been trucking around in this little red ND Miata with her, horn rim glasses and her friend's horn rim glasses with the top down and being blonde and long hair and, you know. But anyway, she when she was going around the track, she she said she just had a good time. She just did what she was told. And at one point she did go off. And I think she went off at the very end of the track, which is like, I believe 17.
17, 18,
Right.
yeah.
And her whole attitude was, well, that happened. But, there was no freak out. There was no, oh my gosh, there was no hopping out and, figuring out what happened to the car, because we always know how to work on the cars now.
Right.
So, but she just kind of put her arms up and was like, oh, well, let's get back on. And that was it.
Her biggest upsetness about going off was that I was in a car behind her and we passed her while she was sitting on the side, and I stuck my hand out, and since it's my daughter, I did not do the usual GHiT greeting. I did the thumbs up greeting. Different finger. And she got very upset that I passed her. That was the big deal. Not that she was off or not that there was a problem. I passed her, so that was the problem.
So her instructor had really good things to say. He said that she was really, really, really strong in the turns. So yeah. So I think you got a race car driver on your hands, guys. Sorry.
If she would go in, then
there goes our wallet.
Yeah.
Just in general, she's just relatively level-headed and chill. So maybe that just translated well into not freaking out and not being over tense doing it. But then again, she's always been around it for a long time.
Right.
So I was like, well, how was your first class? And she says, well, I knew all the flags. I knew basics, probably because that she's been around us talking about it. She listened to us talking about it forever.
Right.
And what a race line is. I think maybe us constantly talking about the race line and then having it physically translated for her during one.
She's also done track walks too.
Yeah. Maybe she was just like, yeah. Maybe just clicked.
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I could give you many, many guesses as to what her 3 goals were going into the event, but I happen to have them documented. Because why not? First goal was to try it out and see if she liked it. Second goal, she was aiming high here. She really put a stretch goal out there, Tim. Sleep.
Nice.
And when pushed to do a third goal, her answer was, I'm pretty great. So, okay.
Pretty great already.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, this was Friday night going in. So, I'm pretty great. So it'll be fine. So there's that. So this is what happens when you have a 17-year-old start to drive on track, people. 11 days of driving, and she knows it all.
She's a pro.
That's awesome. It's fantastic.
That's great. That's a great story.
All right. So we have conquered our weekend, but there's a reason why Mr. Tim Fokine is here. Tim Fokine has a new track toy, and we want to hear all about it. So Tim, when last you were on, you were showing us, just to refresh the audience, you were sharing with us your new tow vehicle.
Right.
I believe that was the last time you were on. Since that time, we once again slept through the one lap of America, and someday we will have this happen. But we're still we paid in 2017 money, and we are going to get it out of there at some point. But since then, you have progressed beyond a tow vehicle, and now you have a new race toy.
I do. I bought a 2024 Rush SR1. It is a purpose-built prototype style race car with a 145 horsepower Suzuki engine in it, 1000 cc, and it is an absolute blast to drive. It is fast. It is visceral. It's raw. It's open cockpit. It's loud. it's all the things you want a race car to be, including grippy and sticky and really accelerating in a straight line as fast as you could possibly want to go. So extremely happy with the car, and even more happy with the level of support and the company from which I purchased it from. The Rush Corporation, Rush Auto Works, great company, just a great group of people, and great family. And it's good to be in a group of racers racing those cars, and just kind of watch the whole thing kind of grow and come to fruition. It's an amazing car, really good corporate story as well.
So with your and when we say race car, usually on this podcast, at least, we're talking about a street car that we've manipulated into something that resembles, from a distance, if you squint real tight and maybe have a little Vaseline on your eyes, it's a race car. This is race car. This is the only thing not race car about it is the wheels are covered. That's
quite impressive.
It's a race car.
It's a race car. It's like I said, it's purpose built. It's a track, not street legal car. It's designed and built to race, and it's built here in the U.S. by the Rush company, and they are awesome cars. When I first stumbled upon the car, I was leaning towards an MPO1, and I really wanted an MPO1 for a lot of reasons. But they're hard to find and they're hard to get. And believe it or not, the company was even a little difficult to get a hold of. I tried to get a hold of Sebco a few times, and I don't know, maybe they were the time it was, but they were a little bit difficult to speak with. I made a phone call to Rush. Within 20 minutes of leaving a message, I had a follow-up phone call. I had link to a website. I had all the things that were going to make me excited about the car. And so I spoke to them. And the more I spoke to them, the more excited I got about the car. And so I really wanted to I had heard lots of things about it, but I had never actually seen one up close. I've watched one go around the track one time from a distance, but I had never seen one up close, and I had certainly never sat or drove one. So I arranged to drive it down in Houston. I went down to Houston for a test and tune day, and there's a video somewhere that has me pulling into their garage at MSR Houston, and they said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I don't like it. I love it." And I said, "Here's my check."
Yeah. That's amazing.
I told them, I said, "Take my money because you guys built a heck of a race car." And it was everything they said it was, everything. And so it is, again, it is not a novice car. It's a car that you must be, I would say intermediate to
at least
at a minimum. It's not a car you want to start in because it's so powerful, so fast, and it's got paddle shifters, and it's a little bit different than what we all started in Miatas and or Civics and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit different than that. It's way different than my 944, way different than any race car I've ever driven. This thing is planted on the ground. It's got Velcro for wheels as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they slicks?
They are not. They're Nankang 200 tread wear tires. They do make a slick for the car, but we don't run it in the spec series.
So speaking of tires, we neglected to ask the important question for Miss Vicky, but we're coming back to Rush. Don't worry, we're not done. Miss Vicky, you always complain about not being confident in your tires and not feeling like they're sticky. Do you feel like they're sticky yet?
Yes.
You have confidence now?
I do.
Okay, excellent. All right, back to Tim.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Tim, the first time I ever saw this car, it was on a GridLife broadcast. Uh, they were doing, I think it was Laguna Seca. I think that was the first co-race car. I want to say it was 2023, but the way life is, it could have been 2022. I don't know. Um, that was the first I had ever heard of it. How did you hear about it?
So similar to you, same thing. Heard through a friend, said, "Hey, I know you're looking for a race car. I know you're looking at MPO1. Um, why don't you look at this car?" And I just kind of quickly Googled it and I saw it and I was intrigued. I didn't realize that it was the size of a Miata. I thought it was a bigger car, but it's that's how I saw it. And Laguna Seca last year was the first race with GridLife. They had a few other races, but that was the first televised race that I'm aware of. That's where I saw the video of the car on the track or the cars on the track. I when I purchased the vehicle, I agreed to run the GridLife series, and I'm so happy I did because I've raced now a couple of events with GridLife, and the first one we had 24 cars on track just at Carolina Motorsports Park, just Rush SR1s, and the second event we had 33 at Mid Ohio, and that was incredibly close racing, incredibly close. 4 and 5 wide into China Beach, which is unheard of. Although because of the car's size, it's possible. 4 wide over the top of Madness. I mean, the whole thing was just a joy to be in. The drivers are of elevated skill. It's fast, it's clean. The cars are really capable. The next race is this coming weekend at GridLife at Road America. There's a festival, and there's going to be 44 cars on the track at this time. So Road America is a little bit bigger track, so won't feel so bad. But that's a lot of cars. That's a big field. 44 cars of a single type is a big field. I can't wait. I'm really excited to have the experience. It's going to be a good time.
So how are you doing in the events, Tim?
So I'm a mid pack guy. Usually qualify somewhere in the middle, and get to run and pass a few people or get passed by a few people. The talent at the front of the pack is really, really deep. The drivers that are driving at in the top 10, or certainly the podium drivers, are of skill and caliber of that. I mean, it's I would say a pro level, maybe a semi-pro level, however you want to put it, but it's extremely skillful drivers, extremely skillful, and it's by driving with them, I'm getting better.
Sure.
My personal best at Mid Ohio was in the race, and I probably wouldn't have achieved that had it not been driving with people that were, super, super fast and talented. Those kinds of drivers make you drive faster.
Sure, absolutely. So we wouldn't be Garage Heroes in training without asking Tim, what do you got to do better? Where do you need where do you need to get better, Tim?
I need to get confidence in high speed turns. I think that the car is very capable. I've never driven a car that's so planted. So you can drive the car very fast into corners that would be in most cars. You'd be oversteering, or you would lose control of the car. The car is planted. The car will stick. The aero on the car will really put the car where you want it. And of course, that kind of confidence comes with seat time. So the more seat time I get in the car, the more confidence I build every time I go out and drive the car.
And no shot ever, obviously. think about bringing a coach? Maybe getting somebody to at least do data for you?
I have. Well, that data's not a problem. I've got my personal scientist.
I'm well aware.
My son is very happy to read my data and tell me that I am slow as snot. Uh,
I
and
think all
where
of your sons would say that to you, but that's
right,
a different story.
that's true. That's true. Where and why is the answer. My son is in professional racing. He has lots of ideas on what to do to the car. I'm reluctant to do those things just because I'm getting used to the car, and I don't want to change the way it feels because then I'm starting at block zero again. So we'll take this season. We'll be a mid-pack car for the season. We'll put some changes in play for next year, or maybe towards the end of this season, just to kind of see. We'll do some test and tune over the winter, and we'll come back out and maybe be a top 10 or better car next year.
So if people want to join you out on the track with your Rush cars, how would they contact the uh, organization?
RushAutoworks.com. They're in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
David and Blair Hosey are the two principals. It's a father and son. They are incredibly gracious people, and I happen to like them tremendously. The support that they give their product, the belief they have in their product, the belief they have in the people that buy their product is incredible. The events that GridLife and Rush put on together are probably some of the best planned and best executed, certainly the best catered events I've ever been to. Rush brings their own chefs. We all participate in a breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of a program in a VIP area with other drivers from Rush and from other drivers that are driving Rush. It's an unbelievable community. There is nobody that's hiding anything. Everybody is telling each other what we're doing with the cars, how we're running the cars, and because we all want to get faster and we all want this to grow. We want to see this as a success, and it's really moving in that direction. 44 cars in the spec series is, I can't think of, maybe Spec Miata with an 80 car field, maybe one time I saw in my entire racing life. But, they've produced well over, a couple of, several million Miatas. Rush is probably somewhere in the 350 mark for production or somewhere near there. For a quarter of the entire fleet to show up to drive in a race is an incredible feat. And so or maybe depends on geographics, I'm sure, but depending on where you are, there are more obviously concentrated here or there, but the car is extremely popular. The car is extremely fun. It's a blast to watch. If you're a spectator and you can't get to a GridLife event, of course, GridLife live streams their racing and each and every class, whether it's the touring class, the SR1 class, the Sunday Cup class. I mean, they do a really good job of making the races available and entertaining to watch via live stream or on YouTube. They're fantastic. Fun to watch, really, really fun to drive. I don't know if it's coming through, but I love the car. I love everything about
I couldn't tell, Tim. I was
Yeah.
you seemed so on the fence and kind of non-committal and meh.
It's a great experience. I'm super glad I got involved, and I'm super glad that I'm in the national series, running all over and running the car. It's been a really good time. It's a little bit of a haul, North Carolina to Wisconsin to Lime Rock to Laguna. I mean, we're going to be everywhere, and it's a good time. It's a really good time and really good racing. Really, the best I've ever seen in spec racing. It's fast, it's close. I mean, tenths of a second separating the top three. It's incredible. Actually, not very many seconds separating the entire class is really the way it works.
True. So, Tim, you know enough about me to know that I am never satisfied and always looking to improve things. So I have a suggestion for the Rush series.
I'll put it in the box. Let's hear it.
So here's what I think we need to do. We need to spend a couple shekels. I know your friends who build the cars are very accommodating, so perhaps they will indulge me in my wish. Spend a couple shekels. Tip Kyle just a little bit more, Talk to the aerial acrobats that have the drones. Just grease the palm just a little bit. Give us a little of that GLTC type coverage for Rush, and I think you would. It's appointment TV for me already. GridLife when they're on the weekends. It's my favorite racing to watch on TV because I watch YouTube on TV. Rush needs a little more YouTube love.
Well, let's see how this event goes. We did the Carolina Motorsports Park. That was the first event. The last event was not simulcast or live streamed at Mid Ohio. But the very next one is, and that's this weekend up in Wisconsin at Road America. So, I'll certainly talk to the GridLife folks. I'll say, that Bill and Vicky asked for some more
exactly
glitz, glamour, and better editing.
Yeah.
Get a little Kyle play-by-play. Maybe Greg Kramer will be there.
Yeah.
You never know. And
yep.
Tell the drone guys to bring some extra batteries, and just give it the exposure. Because I think if we cover the Rush series like we cover a GLTC, they'll see what you're experiencing, and then who knows? We might have to have an AB race in Rush sometime. You never know.
Yeah. Well, Rush is. I'm sure we're already signed up and in the works for next year. They built a new car that'll be delivered sometime in November, I think, or sometime late this year.
Mm-hmm.
The SRX. It is a bigger, better, faster, meaner version of the SR1, and so I'm really excited to see it. And so my everything I've heard about it's going to be an amazing series as well. So we'll see how that goes. There's exciting things happening at Rush Auto Works, guys. They're building an unbelievable spec car and an unbelievable spec series, and a community that is embracing it. And the racing community seems to be embracing the car, the series, and the idea of it. So I'm happy to be a part of it. Really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. And I could tell. I think we talked for 3 or 4 minutes, and I was like, "This is a podcast, Tim. Why are you not bothering me and saying, hey, I need to do an episode?" And we set this up pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
I won't say where we were talking. That's a whole different story. But we'll cover that on the OnlyFans episode.
It was early in the morning.
It was quite early, way too early. That was way early in the morning. But do you guys race in any of the NASA or SCCA or anything else besides GridLife?
We do. I race in NASA Great Lakes. There's no spec series for the car just yet. I'm sure that Rush is working to develop that with NASA National. But for now, we race in either an ST2 or we actually have a guest class that we race in. So that's very comfortable. We race in the Lightning series, which would be combined with Thunder Roadsters, Spec Miatas, E46s, and E30s. It's a good mix of cars. A large field, really large field.
That's a big field.
Yeah, of combined racing, but mixed racing. But the car fits in well there, rather than the ST2 group where you might be in with larger Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes. Those kind of cars, believe it or not, have a hard time seeing the rush because the closure rates are so quick and the car is so small compared to say a Mustang. You could literally drive a rush right up next to the door, pass under the mirror, and never hit the mirror of the car. In say a spec iron Mustang.
Not if your name is Eric Meyer. You know he's going to hit the mirror. He's going to close that mirror right on you. So
He will.
Well, that's awesome. Did we miss anything on Rush, Tim?
I don't think so. I could just say again that the Hosies and the entire Rush organization didn't have the race weekend that I wanted to have at Mid Ohio last month. Had some mechanical difficulties, and David Hosey, owner of the company, put his arm around me and asked me if I wanted to race, and I famously said, "Well, I didn't come to spectate." And the Rush group put my car up in their paddock and took the entire rear end apart of the car and had me race ready in time to go to the next heat. That kind of service just doesn't happen by accident. The owners of that company and the leadership of that company is dedicated to their product and their customers. So a big shout out to them and to David and Blair and to the whole Rush team. Those guys were incredibly gracious to get me ready to race again, and I'm just really happy to be part of that magic in that community. It's a real testament to their commitment to the product.
Did you hear that, Miss Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of service I'm expecting from you.
Oh, really?
That trailer better be ready, Miss Vicky.
Killing me.
Yeah. Really good things happening here, guys. In this series, if you're at all interested, give it a peek. Go to YouTube and watch the races. They're incredibly entertaining.
We will have a couple links if you would provide them and be so kind for some highlights on the episode. So when people pull over or at a computer or their TV, like I would do my GridLife YouTube
at work, on a break. At work,
on a break, yes, on a break. Obviously, on a break. Obviously, the people at CrowdStrike are watching this way too much, but that's a different story. Okay, that sounds like fun, Tim. I think we can't wait to see it. And what are the chances you're going to bring one to a Great Lakes event?
Bring one to every Great Lakes event that we have this season. I'll be in the National GridLife Series all summer as well. Road America, Lime Rock, Laguna Seca. Those are the last 3 races. We'll be at all of them.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're always in training, Tim. I got one more training question for you. Mm-hmm. What did you learn? What did you learn from your Rush cars that you didn't know?
I learned more about myself as a driver than I did about how to drive. I learned more about my ability to manage traffic. I thought I was pretty good. I really did. I thought I had done enough wheel-to-wheel racing or endurance racing that I could handle just about anything. Not that I'm a fish out of water at all. I don't mean it like that. But when you race against people that make the impossible pass, not just once but every time, it makes you reevaluate your skill level and your ability, and it makes you want to go out and be a better driver, better racer. It makes you want to really hone your racecraft because you want to be that. You want to be that kind of competition, and you want to be that predictable for the people around you as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're judging yourself in a different pond, some ponds are bigger than others, and it sounds like you've got a bunch of fun, highly challenging fish in your pond now.
For sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I'm not sure Miss Vicky and I will be joining you on the track, but we may be joining you from the side of the track and cheering you on. So
yes.
Do not plan on getting away from us without us seeing you at least once or twice. You're doing Lime Rock, right?
Lime Rock for sure. Yeah. Rush car.
Lime Rock's near us.
Rush car number 3. That's Tim Fokine, or as the announcer says, Timothy Fokine.
We will be at that event.
Good deal. We'll see you there. I can't wait, guys.
It'll be fun. And good luck. Can't wait to watch on and grease the palms, get Kyle and Craig a little extra cabbage and maybe just a bigger lunch. Whatever it takes, man.
The lunches are pretty good. Like I said, Rush has it catered in, man. It is fantastic.
You know that
Fantastic.
the Road America is known for many, many things, and one of the towards the top of the list is the food there is quite nice. So you're going to have to do a little extra to get the coverage you need, but I'm hoping it works out for you.
Good deal. Good
All right.
deal. I'll report back dutifully.
All right, very well.
All right.
I need more racing to watch on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, right. Don't we all?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I mean, I keep watching, going, "Gee, that's doable." Not by me, but apparently it's doable. Something to a script. So awesome. Thank you, Tim.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.